Hello, today is July 23rd, 2021. It's time for our semi-monthly meeting with Norm Winsky. Norm, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Jeff, for having me on. I thought we would start by reviewing what I forecasted 2 weeks ago on Friday, July 9th. I had the starting out. If you see AC, you might want to take a screenshot of these notes here so you can follow along with when I show you the charts. So we had AC over the night after the close, AC after the close. So we'd be looking at the next morning's opening for a possible trade. If the market gets to some extreme, going sideways, we do nothing. All these points relate to the stock market, but the commodities only connect with respond to certain narrow points. So there we go. So we have the moon to the U.S. natal chart. That's U.S. stock, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. We have a new moon in Cancer, the night of the 9th. That's a weekend. And then we'll be looking at your financials, grains, precious metals, and silver. And also that weekend, we had Jupiter line up with the U.S. chart. That's U.S. stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. And then I have to apologize to you and your folks, Jeff. I mistakenly said that Mars was aphelion the weekend of the 9th, and that did not occur until Monday night, the 12th. So I'm going to eat my mistake and show you what it would be if that were correct, and then I'll show you what happened if we went with the correct point. So, and then coming up here now, we have a point to the U.S. natal chart, the U.S. stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar on the night afternoon of the 13th, and then the weekend of the 16th, we had Mercury, 0 latitude. Now, if you have any questions about any of the terminology, please feel free to call me. I'll be happy to explain it all. You can get a free class. So there we go. Now moving ahead, let's see how it all went. Here's corn on the weekend of the 9th when we had the moon, and I mistakenly said Mars was aphelion. Mars was corn was one of the markets indicated by that. And so we actually got lucky and gained a point there by putting Mars aphelion over there. When the blue arrow shows you where it should have been, that would have been a loser. So there we go. Now we're looking at our next point. Mercury window here was a little short-term top in the corn. Here's your soybeans trading in a wedgie pattern there, and it breaks out over the wedge. All right, on our right after the moon on opening of Monday the 12th, and up and away we go. So that's a good one. Here's a textbook example, close to textbook example of how we'd like this to work. Wheat goes down, down, down into the moon. We make a low. You buy and it goes up, up, up. You make money. And then we're one day away from a top there and a few pennies close in price. One day ahead of schedule, one day ahead of the high, and before it turns down. Okay, now on gold, we're going sideways. That's what these yellow bars indicate, sideways. And so we don't do sideways. Newton's law, every action opposite equal reaction. Opposite sideways is more sideways. So we don't do that. So we took a pass there. Silver is going sideways, took a pass there. Here's your S&P. Had a big down after the close of the 7th, which was our point. And you could have bought there near the opening, and you would have done very well. Now coming up here, we had mistakenly put Mars aphelion on the weekend of the 9th, along with the moon and the U.S. point. So we got a triple thing there, and we're 2 days. Oh, sorry about that. And we're 2 days ahead of the high there on the opening on Wednesday, the 14th. So we had to count that as misses. Had we gone with Mars aphelion when it correctly was on the night of the Monday night, then we would be looking at the 13th opening, and then that would have been right over here, and then we would have been over here. 13th over here. Wait, there's the 12th. There's the 13th. And then we would have been one day ahead of the high. So we come down here, and then here's a heartbreaker. We had the right day here for our Mercury point, but the opening was too far from the low, so I had to mark that as a miss. Now, T-bonds, we had the high right there on our U.S. point. Then we came down to the moon, and another U.S. point there, one day ahead of that low. And so that worked out well. Here's the currencies. They lined up with the moon fairly well. There is the dollar on a low right on the moon. There's the Aussie dollar on a high on the moon. Here's the British pound on a high on the moon. Here's the Canadian dollar on a high on the moon. Here's your US dollar. That's textbook. Up, up, up into the moon, tops out, and then goes down. Here's the yen is the only one that did not dance to the moon. And there you go. And then the Swiss franc rallied into the moon and then rolled over and went down. So if you add up the score, we got 19 out of 24 winners, 5 misses. That's 79.17%. What's coming up this weekend? We have the Mercury perihelion. That's when Mercury at its closest point to the sun. It's 88-day cycle, and that's your grains and stocks. And so we'll be looking at that. We also have the full moon in Aquarius, and so we look at your roundup usual suspects, financials, grains, precious metal, and copper. And so there we go. So we're looking at those markets. The stock market, when I last looked, was I think on or near all-time new highs. So that's a candidate. The stock market is a candidate for a possible top on Monday, first part of Monday. So there you go. Now we have Jupiter is going retrograde out of Pisces into Aquarius. That indicates cocoa, copper, hogs, oil, silver, soybeans, and T-bonds for the night of the 27th. So we'll be looking at the opening on the 28th and the 29th night into the opening of the 30th. Geocentric Mars will enter Virgo, which is soybeans. Here's your copper chart. You have to. This is just a preview ahead of time. We need to look at this more like Tuesday. Same thing with cocoa and with the hogs. What we want to get these markets to some extreme sideways doesn't do it. Okay, now I have, for those who don't know, I have 50 years of experience. I've been doing this a long time. Right out of college, I went to the Chicago Board Options Exchange. I was a market maker member there for 12 years. Also, I was on the Chicago Board of Trade, traded there too. And so I have some experience. I know a lot of the advanced technical analysis methodologies such as GAN, Elliott wave, advanced Fibonacci, fractals, just all that sort of thing. Anything that's based in nature, I like. Mr. Gann, by the way, is considered the greatest market technician of the 20th century, and he was an astrologer. So if you want to learn astrology, I can help you with that. I have 2 letters, a swing trading letter and a day trading letter. And here's how to get a hold of me. Take a screenshot if you would, please. I'm in sunny Naples, Florida, and 239-594-3939. And Winsky at embark.mail.com. And Skype, you can Skype me at nwinsky_1. Looking forward to helping some of your folks, Jeff. Everybody have a great weekend.
Norm, terrific as always. You're very consistent at around 80% in a market where most people lose money, and that's pretty darn good. Norm, we'll see you back in a couple of weeks.